Okay, hi, good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Yep, loud and
Yes,
clear.
you are.
Okay, one second. Headphones are on. Okay. Hi, guys. Hi, guys. Please feel free to open your cameras. You're all requested to open your cameras. I see a lot of people have a lot of new names. That's good. That's good. So just a quick introduction of me. I am Pratham. I am the deputy lead this time at Google Developer Students Club, and this is the Android study jams. So this time we have Rishi as the facilitator, the Android Study Jams facilitator. Along with him, there is Pranshu, and Pranshu is the mentor. So these two will be guiding you throughout the sessions we'll be conducting, and you can reach out to them for any and all help that you'll be requiring throughout the whole event. So Rishi, how excited are you for the whole thing?
Quite excited, quite nervous as well, because yeah.
Yeah, it's a big event. It's a big event throughout. It's once a year event, so it's a big event. Uh, Rishi, you want to tell us something fun, some fun facts about Android development and study?
Hmm. Android development. Some fun facts. Okay, let's see. Um, the it, Android actually was started in or released in just 2008, but its growth has been so explosive that we have like 2.8 billion active devices right now, which is an insane number considering that it's one third of the current population.
Okay, damn, a lot. A lot. That's a lot. So I mean, like we have a lot of people here. You all must have some expectations or some like vision of something you want to build or something you want to see happening in front of your eyes. That's why I'm guessing most of you are here to build something. So does anyone want to share anything they want to build? Anything at all? Anything you guys like? Managing app, beauty app, anything, any app. Maybe you want to build Instagram filters on your phone, some new filters, anything you have in mind. Feel free to use the chat or open your mics. I hope everyone can access the chat and open their mics. Can someone just
Okay,
confirm if you can use the
one
mic?
second, Pratham. I actually have a Slido for that. Would you guys want to um, give your responses to that?
Yeah, yeah. I think that'll be more
Okay,
comfortable. Yeah, yeah.
sure. One second, let me just navigate to that. Pranshu, could you just please turn on the Slido as well? Activate it.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, so it is live now.
Can you guys quickly tell them how to use Slido?
Okay, sorry, I haven't given them the link yet. My bad, my bad. So you guys can join in using this QR code and link. One sec, it should just load up. Yeah, you can scan this QR code to open the poll, or you can even use the number. Pranshu will be putting the link to that in the chat as well.
Yeah, one sec.
So let's just give them a minute. So yeah.
So, hello guys, I'm Pranshu. In case of any difficulty, you can always reach out to me or Rishi. Uh, let's see. Are you guys able to open the link?
Yes, yes. I think it's working perfectly. Okay, I
Okay
think
then.
actually we can move on to the replies that we are getting.
Okay, cool.
Oh,
Yes,
this is
Nihal.
this is interesting. SNE Hacks Part 2. This is like only the OG people can remember it. I think only Prakriti here can remember it. No one else can really remember what SNE Hacks was.
Okay, we have some gaming and VSC coding. Nice.
Public helping.
Gaming. Gaming is interesting. Daily Goel. Okay. Indian version of something.
Check answers for free. That is an interesting thing.
Mentions are
Yes,
over.
yes,
You
Mentions
are
are over.
going to help many people.
Yeah.
I know.
Space management, Adnan, that's interesting.
Game like
Game
COD.
like COD. Yeah,
Hmm.
interesting.
BB hack.
We had that was interesting for your parents to show your parents, huh? And like,
Yeah, I know.
look at me scoring some marks. I don't know what to do. What to do. A timetable, huh? That'd be interesting. I think I thoroughly need a timetable for next semester.
Space management tab. Nice
Yeah.
idea.
Nice. Lot of ideas. Lot of ideas. So,
Yep.
Rishi, you wanna just have like a quick summary of what everyone will be doing throughout the thing, just like a 30 seconds thing. Just tell them how the
Okay,
depending
so
on. Yeah.
yeah, so this course basically focuses on the Android development with Kotlin course that is designed and developed by Google. So there are, I mean, there's a lot of content in that. We'll have to finish that, and then after that, we have an app development as well. So a lot of interesting stuff, and I'll just be elaborating a bit about the course and the app part towards the later of this.
All right. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Chalo, I'm excited, and as you can see, everyone's excited. So we'll just
Yeah.
start and kick it off. Over to you, Rishi and Pranchu.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Pratham.
Thank you.
Let's start.
So yeah. So good evening. I'm Rishi Balamurugan, second year CSE student, and little about myself is that I love coding and have some experience developing Android apps. I'll be your facilitator for this course, and supporting me is Pranshu. Over to you, Pranshu.
Hello, guys. As you all know, I am Pranshu Agarwal, second year CSE student, and I'm going to be your mentor for this year. So, in case of any difficulty, you can reach out to me or Rishi. Feel
Yeah.
free to WhatsApp any of us.
Yeah.
So, that's it. Let's start with the session.
Okay. So, starting with this, what are Android study jams? Android study jams are community organized study groups for people who do hands-on learning for Android app development. And it's a series of sessions which focus specifically on learning how to build apps, even for people without prior coding experience. Okay, so now, Android is a very vibrant ecosystem. As I told you, it's very, it's growing quite quickly, and also because it's open source, developers are able to create amazing content for users to use across the world. Okay, and this is like one of the main points why we want to get into Android development. So the importance of mobile app development. Before we move to that, we have to talk a bit about the smartphones, right? So a smartphone right now is much more cheaper and more accessible than your laptop, and many more people have that. Okay, um, and when and people usually develop apps because it's much more better than a website in mainly three ways that is there here. Okay, there it helps in reaching the users in a more effective and efficient way. Okay, so basically let's take Zomato for example, and if they didn't have an app, you would have to go to their website, open your laptop, and then afterwards refresh it every time. So instead of that, if you have a website, if you have a phone, they can order at the touch of a finger, they can do it from anywhere they want. Okay, so that convenience is always there. And the next thing is that it also helps them to engage with customers a lot by like sending alerts and like keeping them in interacting with the app. And it also obviously increases your visibility because the user base is like much larger than for laptops. All right, so I I'll give you a moment to answer this question as well. So it's at the same Slido link for those who have and do not have coding experience. Okay, because this it'll be helpful for me to facilitate the sessions as well. Okay. Nice. About a little more than half of you have coding experience. That's quite good. Okay, I think we can wait for another 10-15 seconds. Okay, cool. That's some interesting stuff. Okay. Most of you haven't used Kotlin, but a large number of you haven't new programming as well. So I mean, this course starts from the basics, so you'll have no problem developing Android apps, all right, as we go on. Okay, so what is Kotlin? Kotlin is right now the most popular app for developing Android app, most popular language for developing Android apps, and it's used quite widely. And even though it's like it was only quite released recently, its growth has been quite good as well. All right. In there was this survey in 2020 by Stack Overflow for the most loved programming languages, and Kotlin actually ranked fourth among all of them, which is quite big considering that it was only overtaken by Python, which is most loved for AI and ML applications, TypeScript for Java programs, and Rust for your server-side programming. But if you look at it in another perspective, in the app development space, it actually stands first because the next programming language is Dart, which is mainly used by Flutter. And then comes Swift, which is for iOS app development. And then only we have Java finally at the end. Okay, and if you want to see this actually being used, Flipkart's app, which has like 100 million monthly average users, okay, they migrated their code from Java to Kotlin, and from that it said that they spent 20% less time on getting their apps up to date, and also it used 30% less code, which is actually quite big, because if you see, nearly one third of the code reduction means that that much lesser you have to debug and maintain, right? And this shows like two main aspects of Kotlin, which is that it's quite concise compared to Java. Also, thing is that it's also interoperable with Java, which means that if you already have an existing app, then you can port it over to Kotlin instead of building it from scratch. And Google has been doing their own fair share of Kotlin programming, and with over 60 apps that are being used ubiquitously. And recently they actually made Kotlin the official programming language for Android, and this is big because the new features that are coming will first be released to Kotlin, and then only they will be pulled over to Java. So we went over this, it's something nice. And then, so today's session outline as well, we just went over the introduction. I'll just give you a small I'll give you some information about the program and how it's going to be. And then finally, we'll have a question answer session where we'll try to address all your questions. And then after that, we will be providing you with more resources on how you can continue your learning. Okay. So as you all may know, this program mainly focuses around Android basics in Kotlin course, and this course consists of 6 units. All right, and these 6 units you can consider it as maybe a congregation of skills that is useful for basic Android development. Right? I mean, for example, in the first unit you learn a bit of Kotlin, and then you learn how to make your first app. Then after that you learn how to make lists and then navigate between screens, all those things. And then, so moving on, each unit has several pathways, right? Now, what's a pathway? A pathway is basically a way to learn a skill that is useful for app dev. Okay, so each pathway consists of some videos and some code labs which you can use to we obtain that skill. And at the end of each pathway, there's a quiz which, on passing successfully, um, you'll be able to obtain a badge, all right, for saying that you have that skill. But even if you're not able to answer the question successfully, you can always go back, review the resources again, and take another attempt at the quiz. Now, what happens when you collect all the badges? For the current course, there you can earn up to 16 badges, right? And these badges are displayed on your Google developer profile. Okay, and this is important because all your if you after you've done this course, the way we can verify whether you've finished it or not is using this profile where all your badges are displayed. And if you haven't already created one, I suggest you do so quickly. And moving on, you can this is the link for the app. This is the link for the course, and this will be circulated in the WhatsApp group and in the chat as well. So next Next, we'll be moving on to this. Basically, this is also one of the big opportunities in this program. What it is that during the course of this, it's optional, but you can make an app, and that app has a chance of getting featured by Google on its social media channels. This is extremely big because you and your app will be visible to millions of people, and the impact that it can have is great. Okay, and the requirements for this will be informed to you shortly, and the last date to submit for this it will be 10th January. So for those of you who are new to coding, it might seem like a daunting task, but don't worry, you'll only be asked to make things on what you have learned from the course. Okay, so I believe you all will be able to do very well, and me and Pranshu will be there to assist you along the way. All right, so let's move on to the questions and feedbacks that you have. It's again at the same Slido link. So it can be about anything regarding the program that you want to know or feel like asking. Maybe it's something that you can teach about or anything in general. Um, see, the program is basically Android Study Jams is to just collaborate with people and like help each other out in learning how to do app development. You can go ahead with the course if you wish. So there are 6 units, right? You can go ahead of what we are teaching, and then you can complete it as well. And finally, you'll even be able to get a certificate from us saying that you have been participating in this program. Okay, so basics of Kotlin will actually be covered in the first unit, and we can cover this in the session as well, but I don't think that's required because I felt it is quite simple. You all should be able to do it. But nevertheless, I'll release a Google form in the group later. So I'll just give you guys a two or 3 days to go to review that unit. And then if you feel that you still need to cover it or you have any doubts, then we can do so in the next session. Okay, so what's the deadline for completing this course? For the Android basics course, there is no deadline. It's a free course. You can do it whenever you wish. But if you want to take up and make an app, that you'll have to do by 10th January. Prerequisites, none. There are no prerequisites. Even if you are completely new to coding, you can learn and develop Android apps. Log in into what exactly for the SNU ID?
Yeah,
Please
we
share.
suggest you to log in with SNU ID only because it will be, easy for us to give you the certificates. And the link for the course is in the chat box. You can refer to that.
Yeah, link. Okay. For if you're talking about the Google developer profile, I'd suggest that you make it with your personal email ID. For the meeting, SNU IDs would be better. But for the Google developer profile, why I suggest the personal ID is because all the badges will be with you even after you're gone out of college, and you can like use it to your advantage.
So anything else, guys?
Yeah. This. Okay. Yeah. So it starts out with the basic concepts like Kotlin, and then how to create like basic components and such, and then it'll slowly go on to like more advanced components, like you'll have navigation between screens, and then you get to use SQL as well, and there's even a bit of HTTP, I guess, from internet. And then yeah, I mean, learning further is completely up to you. There are a lot of resources on the internet, and if you feel like you need something, you can always reach out. So how will you be checking that if you've completed the course? So yeah, this is through your developer profile. As you complete the course and when you finish your quiz and you do it right, the badge will be added to your Google developer profile, right? And you'll be sharing a screenshot of that to us, or you can even send us a link. We'll just be verifying that, and then we'll be giving you a certificate of completion. Link for creating the profile. Okay, I think that can be mentioned in the chat as well, or
So
it'll even be
you
put in
can,
the WhatsApp group description.
yeah,
That's
you
no
can
problem.
just start the course, and when you will complete your first quiz, then it will automatically ask you to create the profile and provide you the link. So
Yeah.
there will be no issue.
Yeah, or else you can create your profile beforehand as well. I think that might be better. So,
Uh, so I will give you a link in 1 or 2 minutes in the chat box.
okay, cool. Um, what other resources do should we refer? I mean, it's completely up to you. The basic thing is this Android basics with Kotlin. Apart from that, if you feel like it, you can even take courses at Udemy or watch some nice YouTube videos. Stack Overflow is always there. Uh, we have to create. Yeah, you'll have to create your developer profile with your personal IDs. I mean, you can do it with your SNE IDs as well, but then I don't think it'll be that good. Okay, I have made my Google. Have you actually made? I mean, have you studied with it, or have you earned badges with your SNE ID profile? For the last question. I mean, if you already have certain badges in your SNE ID, then you can continue with that, or you can start new with your personal ID. It completely depends on how much you've done. Okay, then I think there should be no problem. You can just create another one with your personal ID. So after that, you can continue and make progress with the units. Okay, I think so. Yeah, any email ID is fine. So I wasn't planning for this, but I think we can cover a bit of Kotlin fundamentals if that's fine, because we seem to have some half an hour of time. SNU ID doesn't. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Okay, cool. Let's move on, shall we? I think the next few questions we can um, put it in the chat or the WhatsApp group. Everything's fine. Okay, so and so these resources as well, we'll give it to you through the WhatsApp group. So all you have to do is go through the course, and then through the official developer site, there are nice documentations and blogs and such um, that you can refer for your extra resources that you were asking. And then you can also share what you learned. Okay, let's move on to one sec. Android basics. Okay, yeah, I can show you how it would look like. Okay, so when you come to your course, this is how it will. Pranchu, is my screen visible? Can you see the
Yeah,
course? Yep, cool.
visible.
So when you start, your course will basically look like this. Okay, you'll come here, and it's visible. Then there are 6 units, and there are a total of 16 badges that you'll have to complete. So each unit, the first one is Kotlin Basics, and starting to create your first Android apps. All right, so when you explore, then see, as you can see, there are 4 pathways, right? In first pathway, they teach you introduction to Kotlin. Then you'll be given instruction on how to create your first app, some basic layouts, buttons. There are step-by-step instructions, and it's all very clear. So you guys will be able to do it very nicely. So see, in the pathway, there are some videos that you can watch, and then the code labs that have instructions on how to do stuff. One sec. Let me just go to the first code lab. Okay. So they give you instructions, prerequisites, then you get to run your first programs. They give you the solution towards the end in case you're not able to figure it out. And then afterwards, when you're done, you can finish all of these content, and then you can take the quiz, which basically tests your skill. And let's see. Hmm. So let's go along with this, and there seem to be quite a few questions. Okay. So once you finish and you submit the answers, I didn't answer all of them obviously, so I didn't get it. But I've already earned the badge, so you'll be earning the badge as well, which will be displayed here and in your Google developer profile. If you see, your developer profile should be something like this. Okay, you can even go here, add your favorite badges, and then give your stats, maybe some information about yourself. Okay, so going back to this, we still seem to have time. Okay, let me try to cover a bit about Kotlin fundamentals. Okay. Okay, so for this, we'll be using the Kotlin Playground. You can use an IDE as well, whichever works for you, but this has a bit less of setup, so it should be easier. Okay, so let's see what this is the basic program that's been given, and this is usually the first program that students learn when they're introduced to a programming language. So what do you guys think this is going to output? Uh, Answers in the chat box, or you can even unmute yourself, it doesn't matter. Okay, I'm surprised that there are no answers. I think quite a few of you had actually had some experience in coding. Okay, cool. He's gotten the answer. Thank you, Ojasvi. Okay, so what this program does is it prints hello world. Okay, if we're going to break it down, then basically what it does is that um, your hello world here is encased in double quotes. That's how you represent a string or a sentence in Kotlin. And after that, we've got this statement called println. Okay, println is basically what you call a keyword. Okay, keyword in every language, what happens is that there are certain defined words that have very specific meanings. So for example, here you can see that there are three keywords. One is println, the second is main, and the third is fun. Okay, so println, it tells the compiler that it's supposed to put this message and show it to us. So what is a compiler, or what is compilation? Basically, this is Kotlin can be considered as a high level language. So if the machine has to understand it and work according to it, so then it has to be translated into machine level code or byte level code. So for that, a compiler does that job, and it okay. So for that, we need to tell the compiler what to do, right? And that's usually how we use keywords. So talking about function and main, fun stands for function, or it's basically how you define functions. Functions is basically pieces of code that you can reuse in your program. So if you say that I have a function for printing hello world, okay, then you can say that you can call that function and say that ask it to print hello world. And then here we have function main. So main is the function name, but main is also the keyword that says Kotlin, saying that, hey, this is the start of the program, please start executing from here. Okay. So now,
So,
so let's see, what if we
one,
want to,
1 minute,
yep.
Rishi. So, guys, I want to tell you that in Kotlin, it is very easy to code because you can see that for declaring a function, you always need to write just fun. We do not need to tell any identifier int string anything. We don't need to tell anything. It will do it itself everything. We don't need to use any semicolon and all that things. So it is very easy to use as compared to the languages.
For example, the Java program that I'm writing here, okay, for just writing the same, for getting the same output, this is what you'd have to do. It's clearly visible that the how concise Kotlin makes things and how much of time and effort and even space you can save. All right, now we don't want to print hello world. All right, we want to print something else because everything can't be hello world, right? Let's Today is actually cake day, so let's say um, happy cake day. Now if we execute this, it says, what does it say? It's a hello world and happy cake day. So although it may seem like less, but you would have to actually explicitly specify everything because the computer does not make assumptions. You have to exactly say that print this, do that. Okay, now, so after that, let's try adding a few more statements, all right? So if you want to make a cake, you say, um, you say how to make a cake. What happens now? Okay, it says unresolved reference, how to make a cake. So what happened now is we've gotten an error or a bug, in other words, and this is very common in programming. In fact, the origins date very far back when there were still mechanical computers, and there was a bug stuck in one of the cogs, and that is how it came about that there's a bug in your code. Basically here we haven't used double quotes to say that this is a string, so the computer doesn't know that you're supposed to print it out. All right, so if you just put it in strings, now it knows that you're supposed to execute. Okay, so there are some other things that we can do as well. Let's say that somebody new has come who's looking at your code. Then how will they know what it everything does? I mean, this is just the start of it and there's very less code, but as your programs get more complicated, it takes time to find out what everything does. So if in that case, there are something known as comments which are very helpful to point out like what your code does or just give some general information. So we can just say here that this prints hello world, and then maybe this prints something else. Okay, and that's something about comments. There are different ways to write comments in different languages, but this is how we go about it in Kotlin. And let's say how to make a cake. Okay, let's say we give them instructions. So for that we would start out with print add flour 100 grams, then we'd say add some egg 100 grams and add some few more stuff like this. Now, so we're able to do this. Okay, so what it does is just prints all these things, but we see that 100 is being used a lot of times. Okay, how would you replace that? So we just want to like lessen the code, right? So we can just put a value saying that value grams is equal to 100. So as you can see, we can use variables to declare and store things that we want to reuse. Basically, what happens is that when you're coding, you don't want to keep everything static, right? You want to like show them and then maybe change things for each user. So for that, variables comes in very much handy. Okay, so I think this was a bit about the start of Kotlin. This is how your units will start, and then afterwards they'll start with more complicated things like for loops, and then maybe get into the installation of Android Studio, and then after that we'll make your first app and such. So I think those things you can look at it yourself. If you have any problems, you can reach out to us as well and put it on the group. We'll be very happy to clarify. Um, I think we can close with that. There is
There's a question in the chat box, Rishi.
okay. How do we give it input to make the cake and get it output? Okay, so that is a bit of a challenge for you. Okay, I'll let you find that out. Give you a day or two. You can even look at the units if you like, and find out how that works, and then get back to me if you're not able to do it, and then I'll be helping you with that. All right. I mean, it doesn't actually relate to Android development as such, because we will be using other components for getting input and all those things. But you can learn about it that if you wish.
Yeah, in Android to get input, we use action listeners basically.
Yeah, we use action listeners and
And
those,
this
but
is a somewhat advanced topic, so
yeah. So as you gradually learn, you'll be taught about the basic concepts and how to build to that. You'll be able to understand all those things. And if you see here, um, they incrementally teach you. The difficulty in which the lessons are incremental. So you'll get to know how it all works by the end of it. And I mean, you can proceed with that and start working on it. So thank you for joining. Let's have a fun journey working together. And it's work only on a given input. I'm not sure what you mean, Kushgra. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, but okay, I think we can conclude with the session now. If you guys have any doubts, feel free to stay back and ask me or Pranshu, and otherwise you can exit the meeting. Thank you as well. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you, Shruti. I think we can close the meeting. Let's see. Coding.